and welcome back to the final installment of this story time. And I am so happy to get this done. The only reason I had to break it up so many times is because I was having so much trouble uploading the videos to Facebook, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. So I'm so ready to move on to something else. So the best part. Okay, so I was being replaced, and like I said, I told those kids, they said, "Can we dance?" I said, I turned up the music, turned up the volume, told them to tear the place up, just stay alive. That's all I asked, just leave here alive. Okay, so that was all good. Had a wonderful, probably one of the best weekends of my life that following weekend, knowing that I was pretty much done. So fast forward to the final day. The young woman arrives, and I was just asked to shadow her and make sure she knew where all the rooms were, where I kept the materials, how to work the electronic display board, things like that, if I even remembered how to do them. So the young lady arrives, okay, at the school. She arrives reeking of cigarette smoke, okay. Her breakfast consisted of couple of cigarettes and a couple of cans of Coca-Cola. So I'm thinking, oh, she's going to fit right in here. She's not going to have any problem. Sweet young lady, actually also an American expat. So I show her in, and I went to a couple of classes with her, and she had very movement-based activities planned for the kids. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe she is a better fit. She seems to have the hang of this, blah, blah, blah. I stuck around until, I would say, early in the afternoon when I got a text from my man, who is now my husband, asking me if I was ready to go. I was hanging out in the ESL office by myself, and I said, sure, why not? It was perfect. I moonwalked out of there. Everybody was in class, so there was no scene, and FYI, I am not good with goodbyes. I'm very peace, see you when I see you. If our paths are meant to cross again, they'll cross again, no big deal. So, sail right on out of there, end of story. So, fast forward about 2 months later. It's now the end of January after Christmas holiday. I started getting these texts from a mysterious person, because I had just gotten a new phone and I had not transferred all of my numbers to my new phone. And they were these dubious texts saying, I just got my first paycheck. What the F? Okay, that could be anybody. This is France. People don't make a lot of money. Then finally, sometime in mid-January, I got a text saying, I'm ready to quit. I can't stand so-and-so, my director's name, very specific name, and XYZ. Wow. So I called the young lady back. Long story short, she was forced quit. And when we added things up, I realized she lasted the exact same amount of time I did, 2 months. I lasted 2 months. She lasted exactly 2 months if you take away Christmas break. Now, the interesting thing was, she was telling me, she's like, I'm surprised you didn't sue them. They were supposed to pay you. You were under contract. Now, again, what goes down with me and somebody else or another entity is nobody else's business. Because remember, at the time, this was a professional relationship, even though I was being phased out. So she wound up quitting. And in France, that is the worst thing you can do, is just to quit. Because when you have a contract, it is very tough for them to fire you. Now, I, for one, have no interest in sticking around any place I am not valued or respected or wanted. So she says to me, they would have had to pay you. And the last thing I said to her was, oh, they paid. And truth, in fact, yes. The only time I was happy at that job was when I found out that I would get paid through the end of the year. My last day was the mid of November. I would get paid through the rest of the year, as well as a rupture to contract, which is basically saying that I was not technically fired. We just reached an impasse. It's a politically correct way of saying you were let go, or laid off rather than fired. Okay, so that is the end of the story. And again, for me, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. So even though all the signs were there not to take this position, it was just, I felt like I was suffering. I felt like I was in a tomb. I was going to work in a tomb every single day. But the way it paid off was that it got me right across the street from the man who is now my husband, totally different story, and also got me severance. I won. I'll talk to you soon.